going on, you guys? It's your girl, Ask Ashley, here with another dope episode of Monday Night Juice. If this is your first time checking out the show, thank you so much for being here. Please share the show, like the show, comment it. Well, not comment it. Y'all know I be messing up sometimes. But comment as much as possible. Drop your names in the comment section. Let us know that you're here so we can say hi. And as always, I have to give a huge shout out to our sponsor. Tonight's show is sponsored by Film Porter, located at 1617 West Galbraith Road. You guys can go ahead and check out Nikki with all her new fall athletic fashion wear at www.filmporterstore.com. Oh, I couldn't wait to do that. You guys know I like to start the show off with a little bit of love and laughter, so here is this week's Top 5 TikToks.
That's not full.
That's enough for you to drink?
Doesn't look like enough to me.
What you mean? You can give it back.
No.
Oh, okay. You want a little bit more?
Yep.
Okay. Bring me the cup. Bring it over here. Put a little bit more in there. Bitch, who the fuck?
Wait.
Hold on. Hold on. Who the fuck this is?
Y'all ever notice how black people give compliments? Where you think you going? Who you trying to impress? Okay, shirt, I see you. Come on, outfit. Go off. You going somewhere with your little friends? She thinks she cute.
Parents, I guess? I think I'm gonna go. Why? Because this blows. And
What the hell you up in here doing?
Why not?
Watching a scary movie.
Stay with their little sister.
Being ugly?
Why'd
Like you?
laugh at school today?
No, like your
You're
daddy.
a geek.
Let me try this filter on you.
Huh?
Let me try this filter.
What? You need to stop doing that shit, man.
Ba-ba-boo.
All right. I just wanted to do it again. I got Jamie on the show. So, wait, are we going with Nurse Jamie, Dr. Jamie, what are we going
Jamie
with?
is fine.
Jamie
is fine.
Okay. So, those of you that are tuning in don't know if you got the 411 or not, but Jamie is Cincinnati's, and I'm going with this because I really searched and I looked.
Are you the one that started that rumor? I don't want to call it a rumor. But
I searched, I looked, I called around, but we are claiming Jamie is, if not the first, one of the first to open as a Black-owned urgent care center. So can we get a round of applause? Thank you so much for that. We appreciate that because here's the thing. Our health is important to us, but it's not nearly as important to us in the manner that it should be. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And so when you have someone who is, a person of color who opens up a facility like that, like, it's dope. It's like, oh, we got somebody that really care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got somebody that really is going to dive in and check out and see what's really going on with us. So, how you doing, Miss Jamie?
I'm well. I'm a little bit tired if I may be transparent and
okay.
honest. But I'm well. I'm
That's
well.
good.
I'm well.
That's
I'm
good.
blessed. I'm blessed.
Oh,
I'm well. I'm
amen.
blessed. Let me first say
And you
the
look good.
support.
You look good.
Thank you. Let me say the support, the likes, the shares, everything that you all have from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I first and foremost say to God be the glory all the time. Thank you, Jesus, because I know he working overtime for me. But let me just say how my heart is overjoyed at the support, the overwhelming support. I mean, I posted that flyer. I didn't even tag anyone.
Yeah.
And
it was out there.
It
Social
shot
media
off.
is a monster, ain't
It's
it?
a monster.
It is.
It's a monster.
It is.
So thanks for having me.
You are so very welcome. So, you know what? Before I even get into the questions that I really have for you, I want to ask, how difficult was it for you to make this happen during a pandemic? Because
Quite difficult.
Lord.
Quite difficult. Of course, everything we, people of color, do has its hurdles, has its setbacks, has its issues, and believe it or not, the paperwork part of it was the bigger part. Aside from sacrificing time, energy, money, all of those things, and still trying to be who I am, still trying to obtain and hold on to my identity and not lose my mind.
Yes.
It was a challenge. It was a challenge. But those of you who know me know that you can do all things through Christ. And I live and die by that.
Okay.
I live and die by that.
Okay, and we love that. We love that about you, Miss Jaimee. All right, so one of my questions were, with you being in the health industry and everything like that, like when you were younger, was this something that you knew you wanted to do? Like who were you surrounded by, or what were your influences like that got you on this path?
So, since we are being real and transparent.
Yes, this is an adult show, don't forget.
I grew up, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I grew up welfare, food stamps, and WIC. So the people that were around me were people like me. The people that were around me were the same people who grew up on welfare, food stamps, and WIC. However, I had probably the strongest woman alive right now that I know, which is my mother.
Awesome.
Single mother, had 3 children, raised 4 girls. And we stayed in a 2-bedroom apartment. And we had a trundle bed and like a bunk bed on the other side. And we shared a room. And because she was on welfare, she was one of those mothers who said, you won't be me.
Yeah.
And so to be honest, that was the inspiration to even overachieve as a younger. I went to the neighborhood schools. They brought the Walnut Hills test to my school. I think it was the first year they did it at Chase Elementary, and I passed it. And my bus would come at 5:45 a.m. and my mom would walk me down to the corner to get on the bus. And so once I finished high school, you know how when you're kind of in a public school setting, high school is it. It's the have all. It's the end all. If I get out of high school, I made it.
Yep.
Well, not with Miss Paula Fields. Not only was that not the stopping point, I had a mother who actually caught the metro. We caught the Metro City bus to the campus of UC. We went to the admissions office and we filled out an application. I was like, oh, we'll just take it home. She said, no, we're going to fill it out right here. We sat there, filled it out. She said, what's next? They said, oh, now you got to apply for financial aid. I said, oh, okay, I'll get online and do that. She said, no, we're going to go over. We walked over across the other end of the campus, applied for financial aid. Well, what's next? Well, probably given y'all circumstances that you were a mom that really didn't work, and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll get financial aid, and then we'll get you a schedule. So that'll be the next thing.
Yeah.
We'll get it now. We walked. I did not leave
So
UC
just
campus.
very determined.
I did not leave UC campus until I had my application in, my financial application in, and a schedule in hand.
I was about to say, in a schedule.
And a schedule in hand.
Yes.
Some of my influences, I don't know if you all know, but Miss Anna Bale Fields,
Okay.
who happened to be one of the very first African-American Army nurses, is my grandmother.
So you just got greatness
So
running all
it's-
through your blood.
In addition to all that black girl magic running,
Right.
service is in my blood. My mom's a nurse,
That's awesome.
and she has retired from the floor, and she now educates, so she's an educator.
Yeah.
And salute to all my brown educators in the nursing field, because I do
Yes.
believe that we don't see enough of us in any field, like in any education field. I don't care if you're
Yep.
an educator in the journalist field, in the medical. I'm a firm believer that we do not see enough of us in those positions to
Yeah.
say, hey,
Yeah.
you can do this.
Yeah.
I did it, you can. We all know that when it comes time for schooling and studying, you're never the first for them to invite to the study group.
Right. Right.
And
we
there's
had to
always
start making our own study
and
groups.
there's always that person that gets an A, ruins the curve for everybody. You say, well, can you explain this to me? I don't know how I did it. Sure.
Sure.
So yes, I have plenty of influence. And the funny thing is that initially, people would ask, "Are you gonna be a nurse?" And I'd be like, "No, I was the one that was gonna run from." I'm like, my grandma was a nurse. I don't want to do that. Well, look at me now.
And look at you now.
And don't get me wrong, I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love
Now, so you've got, because I ain't in the health field, so you've got certain nurses that are specialized in certain fields, right?
Yes.
So you've got nurses that deal with the infants, the maternity ward and things like that. Now, you're a special kind of nurse. So I
Why
want you
am
to,
I special?
because I'm not even going to try to pronounce, is it geriatric?
Oh yes.
Ha!
So
I got that right.
I'm certified in family, but I love the geriatric population.
And so for those of you that don't know, that's like our grandmas and great-great-grandmas and granddaddies and stuff like that. Which I think it is so important because as a society, we see a lot of our grandparents being mistreated in nursing homes, you know? So when I found out, not even just nursing homes, but period.
Yeah.
So when I found out that was like one of your
That
your
is my
specialties,
thing.
I was like, oh my gosh.
I love me some geriatric people, honey.
That is awesome.
There are a wealth of knowledge, and I think we live in a world now. We just live in a microwave society, and a lot of what's happening is the family structure has broken down. Yeah. It used to be everybody was born and raised in grandma's house. When grandma got old, either somebody moved in with her or you moved her into your house. Now,
grandma's
nobody
like
has
40,
time.
40 and 50, and grandma said,
great grandma
I just got my kids out the house,
and great
I don't
grandma
want-
is 80, and you're
That's
like,
why they do
okay.
those. I don't know if you ever seen them on TikToks where they say, "Come on, mom," and it's like
Oh,
this
yes.
generation, and "Come on, mom," and this generation.
I've
It's
seen
like-
that. Yes.
It's a beautiful thing. You
It
know what I
is.
mean
It's
to
a
see.
wonderful thing to
But
see that many generations.
like you said, the family dynamics have absolutely changed. They've absolutely changed.
They have absolutely changed.
So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
With the way that the world is set up now, we got Black Lives Matter and, all this stuff that's going on. Why do you think it's so important for us to dig and dive deep into our health?
A lot of times, I have run into mainly Black males who are known for being terrible patients. And when I say terrible patients, they're terrible about keeping up on their health. Some of this,
Terrible patients that are Black men. How about that?
and some of this is,
Yeah, I'm starting stuff. Sorry, y'all. I'm starting stuff with my producer because he don't be doing his part all the time. He
See,
don't do his part all the time.
and
And
here's
it takes Black women that's
It
surrounding
does.
you to
It
be
does.
like,
It
dude,
does.
come
It
on.
does. It does. But a lot of that is rooted in the whole past of the Black man having to work all the time.
Yeah.
Remember, doctor's offices are open and we're open during work hours. A lot of us were never afforded the right health care.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then as far as we're concerned, if it doesn't hurt, then I don't need a doctor. What we fail to realize is that being in the medical field, it is my job to teach you disease prevention and health promotion. You don't just go get your checkup when something is bad.
Yeah.
And the sad part is men will walk around, I got this headache, I have that headache, I have this going on, I have that going on. And turns out you have hypertension. You come in the first, I just have these headaches I can't get rid of. As opposed to coming every year. Come and get your physical
Right.
every year and we can prevent the hypertension.
Right.
A lot of disease processes that we as African American people have, you rub dirt on it.
We
Rub dirt on it. Now,
You know
see,
what?
that's the most southern stuff right there. We rub dirt on it. And the sad part, believe it or not, a lot of our things that our Black men and women are being diagnosed with are things that are preventable.
Yes. I was in a relationship before, and I'm not in like I said, the healthcare industry at all, but I was in a relationship before, and I had and my ex, he did something to his knee, and I'm like, there's a bone.
He
that
never
is-
went to see him.
There's a bone that's sticking out in a space that it shouldn't be. And he was like, oh, no, it's just like that. No, it's not just like that, actually. Like, you should probably
Well,
get
and the
somebody
body
to look
is
at
a
that.
self-compensatory mechanism. So what it does is it learns how to deal with whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's why you don't feel, you'll start out with that headache.
Yeah.
And you'll start out with being tired. And that woman will start, that's indigestion. Because what we do not know is that the majority of heart attacks and MIs in women start as what we think is indigestion. We get tired and we think, oh, I'm just tired. Oh, well, I ate something, it didn't go down right. And believe it or not, you're having a heart attack.
Yeah. I know for me, because I will say I'm not the best patient either. I will admit that. Okay. If it makes you feel any better, do you feel better that I've admitted that?
Well, in every
Come to the joy.
and
Really need that going.
And everybody knows that medical professionals aren't either. Nurses are the worst patients.
Like,
We are
so,
bad. We are.
I've had moments where, I will get like the headache or something like that, and I'm
ignore
like,
it.
I will just ignore, and I'll be like, you know what? Or I'll say, I'm really sleepy, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm getting older. I probably just need a vitamin. I'll get them eventually. And then before I know it, I'm
getting older. I'm
yeah,
getting older.
I'm just getting older. Oh, that's a pain right there. Oh, that's probably just with age. What they call those growing pains? Those just
Growing pains. Oh my gosh. Growing pains. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yes, so it is difficult.
Talk about vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Yes. And then you do learn little stuff like that. Like before when you were younger, you had the mommy that gave you the Flintstone vitamins.
It made you drink the milk.
And made you drink the milk, and all that stuff is important. And
when you get older, you can choose what you want to eat and drink.
It's so funny because you become an adult and you have kids and you drink your milk. Why? Because they say it's supposed to make your bones strong.
Not because I drink it, but because they say it's healthy for you.
That's what they say it's supposed to do for you. Then I know for me, and this kind of still goes to the question that I asked, you learn these things and you're programmed at a young age, and then you grow up and then you find out I've been bamboozled my whole life. They've been lying to me. I'm not supposed to drink this much. I'm not supposed to ingest this much stuff. This is going against everything that's supposed to make
it turns
you great.
from being something healthy to something that makes you overweight. Vitamin, we all drink that vitamin D. Oh, the doctor, the pediatrician would give them vitamin D milk. When you pulling your baby off formula or off nursing and breast milk, give them vitamin D milk. Give them the whole milk. Give them the whole milk. Then they're used to that sugar. Next thing you know, the teeth are rotting.
Right.
Because there's so much sugar in the vitamin D milk.
And I think this goes to my next question, why it's so important, especially for people of color. Why is it so important that we get checked out, evaluated, seen by people that look like us? I know representation is everything. And
representation is everything.
But why?
I think, my personal opinion, is that when you are checked out,
why is he so nice?
He is.
I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all could be in the studio with us right now.
I'm trying to keep it.
We trying to be professional over here. I'm sorry. Go
that
ahead.
dry erase board, you know
needs
what?
to put it down.
I'm telling you.
He needs to put it down today.
So I think it's important to be checked out, to be evaluated, to be monitored by people of color, because people of color know people of color diseases. There are some things that we as people of color suffer from that European people just do not.
Yeah.
They just don't. Sickle cell.
Yeah. And it's like in every department of the health industry. I know someone who works in mental health, and she had a client who basically told her that she had expressed to her doctor for months about a pain she was experiencing. And it was, not a person of color. And he said that he had never heard of it before. So for months, he thought she was making it up. He thought she was over-exaggerating her pain. And it wasn't until she went to someone of color where it was like, I know exactly what's wrong with you. And so I guess for me, it's like, even if, let's say you have a doctor, it's not a doctor of color, and you love this doctor, you don't plan on leaving. Okay, that's fine. That is absolutely your choice, your prerogative, and nobody is judging you for that. But what expectations should people really start to have out of the people that are providing that kind of care for them?
So we as people of color should have the same expectations out of our practicing physicians and providers and things like that we would have, that the white people, the European people would have out of them. I was reading an article not long ago that talked about how for generations and centuries, medical school students have been taught that black people can endure more pain.
Yes.
So when we say we're in pain, it's not as bad as we say it is. Or it is as bad as we say it is, but we can tolerate it and we can handle it.
Our bodies will be fine.
Literally, this was an article that was dated, I want to say for like 2019.
Wow.
That is still being told and passed down. If you notice, the number of women who are, colored women who are dying during childbirth. Now you're talking about women that used to have babies in the field and keep moving.
Yes. What happened?
All of this
what happened?
technology, all of this evolution of medicine, why are we dying? Why? Why? You get what I'm saying? Why are we dying? Are we not getting the same prenatal care that you're giving them?
Yeah.
Are you not calling us in for as many sonograms as you're giving them?
Yeah.
Are you not just studying the
prescribing
disease?
them something and prescribing
Yes.
us something
That's
totally
what
different?
that's what I'm saying.
Or it's just like what is really and that's been a question of mine. Like when I hear that women are pregnant now, I get excited, but I get scared. Because it's like
And that
I
is
just
so
hope,
crazy to me.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
crazy
I
to
hope
me.
that you come home with your baby because it's that serious now.
And if you look at the paradigm shift, Black women are having babies earlier. Now, back in the day, when you would catch somebody's grandma with 14, 15 kids, but even then, she could have 14, 15 kids.
Yep.
Now you have we have 20-something-year-old, I have 20-something-year-old patients that are not on birth control, having trouble getting pregnant. They're like, no, I don't sleep protected with my boyfriend, and I haven't gotten pregnant, and we don't use the withdrawal method. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're talking girls at the age that should be fertile myrtle, so to speak.
Right.
And they are having trouble. Like, my periods aren't regular. My cycles aren't regular.
Yeah.
I don't
You
need
know
birth
what's
control. But
so,
you know what I mean?
let
I'm
me
not
say
getting.
this.
I mean, it's crazy.
Because y'all know I like to do an adult show, and I don't have no problem telling my business. So, when I was, I want to say about 13, 14 years old. I'm going to go with 14 years old. My periods were irregular. And the first thing my mom did was took me to my gynecologist, and I got on birth control. And I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And the fact that you're making me deal with that makes me think about it, and I don't want to think about it because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when my daughter started to have her cycle and experience certain things, it was just like, what? And the first thing that was recommended to me was to take her to a gynecologist. Luckily for me, I don't know if you guys remember, a couple weeks, maybe a month or so ago, I had, Save Our Jewels on the show, and she talked about the negative toxins that are in our pads and our tampons and how they affect our bodies. And, you know, if we started to use things that weren't so toxic, we would have lesser period days, lesser pain to deal with, and things like that. And it's just blows my mind when it's like, and that's why I asked the question, what are some of the expectations we should have? Because you would think that that's simple, but when you don't know to expect that.
And
When
here's
you-
the thing with that. Let me say this to you all. Before I even went to nurse practitioner school, I was an ICU nurse. And I prided myself off being not only a nurse and a caregiver, but a patient advocate, as well as a family advocate. And so with that being said, when you don't know, write it down. I have seen so many patients, I have seen so many people go into the doctor. They'll say, oh, I'm having this pain, or my cycle's irregular, or I'm having these headaches. And they'll say, well, it could be this, and this. And they say, oh, okay.
Yeah. And
If
that's
it could be those 5 diagnoses, at what point are we going to narrow it down?
Yes.
When you don't know, write it down and ask. Your expectation is that they can explain something to you to the point to where you regurgitate it. I would tell my families that. The surgeons would hate to see me coming. I say, was that Dr. such went in my room? I run in the room. They'd be like, oh, here she comes. Let me get a chair. Because they would explain, realize in an ICU,
Yeah.
my patient is intubated, they're sedated. They don't hear anything going on. But they go and they talk to the family. If I were to come to you and says, yes, we had to do a cardiac bypass, and we removed a few valves, and we had to clean this, and we had to clean that, and we resected a valve down here using some of the arteries down here in the popliteal vein.
Girl, you just went way over my head.
But what do families do?
Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay. So over the next few days,
And
over
that's
the
what
next
it
few
is.
hours,
It
what
went
we're
way
gonna
over
do
their
is
head.
we're gonna monitor them. We're gonna start trying to wean them off the vent. We're gonna start turning some of the sedation down and seeing what's going on, seeing what happens with their PEEP when we turn the vent down. What did you just hear me say?
Yeah. And then when they go home,
What
it's
can you
like,
regurgitate?
When you
What
go
can you
home, it's like, what they say, girl,
I don't
she
know.
said that she
I
had
don't-
about 10 things wrong with her, but what they gonna do is keep her overnight and just make sure, and she be all right. She be all right. It'd be like,
Exactly.
what?
If you
Yeah.
cannot regurgitate what they said to them, and they say, yes, that's exactly what I meant, then you make them explain it again.
Yes.
That is what your expectations should be. Your expectation should also be that your provider is knowledgeable about the disease processes for your culture. You can't be my provider if you don't know all of my diseases. Now, granted, in school, in nursing school, we learn about everybody's diseases.
Yeah.
We learn about theirs.
Yeah.
At what point is it less important for you to know about mine?
Yeah.
Some of this stuff is life-saving. We have more African-American people even die of skin cancer because your doctor thought it was a brown spot.
Yeah.
They thought it was a mole because you're a person of color.
Yeah.
They didn't watch that it grew over the years. Been your physician for 20-something years, and that it was malignant. By the time they got to it to get ready to scrape, it had gotten to the muscle.
Yeah.
By the time they get to it, the muscle, it's gotten to the bone. We all know what that turns out to look like. It's just be aware is what I want to say.
Yeah.
Your expectation
you-
should be that they can explain it to you and you can explain it back to them.
And I think that's the part that I was gonna touch on. What's really important is like when you don't understand, like ask again.
Ask again.
It's just like the same expectation that you have of your children when they're dealing with their teachers. Well, did you ask? No. Well, how are you supposed to know if you didn't ask? Same thing.
Same expectation when you go to McDonald's and they put that pickle on your sandwich you didn't ask for. Wait a minute, sweetheart.
It's an uproar.
Wait a minute,
over
did you
the
not
pickle.
hear me? Yeah.
I'm allergic to pickles.
We will send the whole bag back through the window.
And I want fresh fries.
And we want fresh fries. Now, we want that from somebody making a few dollars an hour, and we got somebody making thousands an hour.
Thousands.
And you don't have that same expectation about your life and your health.
Yeah. So just seeing how passionate you are about this, I know this urgent care gonna be different. It's gonna be a live urgent care, baby. It's gonna be live. I do want to know, and I want to ask this question because I recently just had to go to urgent care. My daughter got hurt at volleyball practice, and I was so excited when I knew that you and I were gonna be able to sit down and talk because when we went to urgent care, I had a doctor that came out that was a person of color, and he's like, "Oh, I see this crack right here." Like her actual foot is okay, but I see a crack around her ankle.
Somewhere else.
So I'm gonna send you to Children's. So I get to Children's, no person of color. I go in and they've got a student that come out, and I pay attention to this, right? You got the student that came out, so the student comes and he's like, "Yeah, I don't see anything." Blah blah. I'm like, "Okay, well, thank you. Call the person above you now."
Oh, they'll send 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
They'll send a
3 or
resident. They'll send
4.
a student, then a resident, then
Yes.
a fellow, and
Yes.
then when you complain, the big person will come.
Yes.
The
So
attending will come in. Yes.
so that is who we had come in, and they were sitting there and they're like, I don't know what he was talking about. I don't see it. And so for me, as a mom and just being a person of color and recognizing the term, the times that we live in, I'm like, now, I ain't trying to question your degree, but how did he see something and you don't
didn't.
see nothing? And this is my daughter's ankle we talking about. Okay, this is her Olympic ankle. Okay?
Right.
She's going to the Olympics on this ankle.
Amen.
So I need you to explain to me.
Right.
And so I felt like I needed to take the disc back to the other doctor, like show me the crack so I could go back and show her where you see the crack at. Because she's like, she don't see it. So I guess what I'm trying to get at, because I like to tell my stories, is what expectations can we have of your urgent care for us than what we've experienced before?
So let me start with this. Anybody that knows me know I'm a realist.
We like that.
In addition to being a realist, I am one that understands our culture. So I understand that if a 50, 60-year-old black man comes in, he has a blood pressure of 2,000 over 1,000, and I start him on medication, and I begin to educate him. Hey, you need to eat better. You need to try this. Here's my thing. With them, we're educated, and they give us the information. However, with me, one thing I do know is that black man not eating 15 pieces of bacon is not on his own cognizant. He has a wife that cooks the 15 pieces of bacon for him every morning. So everybody needs to be involved in this.
Yes.
How about instead of 15, we go with 10 this week?
Yeah.
Then when you can tolerate 10, we'll bust down to 5. You can expect more individualized care.
Got you.
I tend to pride myself off working with you and what you have. I am not a pill pusher. So if I know that I can tell you, if you're on a blood pressure medicine and I'm going to tell you, Just what do? You sit at a computer, walk around the corner once a day, and I guarantee you'll get off of one of those 3 blood pressure pills.
Yes.
Next thing is, you have to know that a lot of times there are specific blood pressure pills that only African American men should have. Why? Because it messes with their ability to perform in the bedroom. They're not going to tell you that when they give you
he don't want that.
the blood pressure pill. That's the same thing that keeps you from taking it. I'm a married man in my 30s and my 40s. How do I tell my wife my thing don't work? I'm either going to have a stroke by trying to please you, by taking my medicine, by not taking my medicine, or I can take my medicine, it works sometimes.
Yeah. And then, you got the angry wife at home that ain't getting it, so she like, who you giving it to?
That's what I'm saying.
You have
to know what works. There are specific blood pressure. Now, they are programmed that when you have a blood pressure problem, we always start with this. Every medical school and nursing school give you that. It's almost like a graph. Yes. Yeah. However, you have to know the population of people that you're working with. You have to know that 60-year-old man who probably is eating bacon is either single or he lives with his wife of 30, 40 years who is a excellent cook. She is the one that cooks the Thanksgiving food. So that bacon is nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then we have to give substitutes. Do you all know that if you're trying to cut back on salt, use lemon? Lemon has that salty taste to it. Put that on your food. There are certain things that we can do. I do not want to take the pleasures of life away from you because I am one of those people that will throw some salt on my food before I taste it. However, let's work with that.
Yes.
Let's start. Once you realize that you don't need that much salt or you don't need that much sugar, let's look for some alternatives. I'm all about working with you. I don't want you to do anything cold turkey because when you binge, it gets bad. It's not so great. You come back, I tell you don't eat no sugar. You try not to eat no sugar. You come back a week later, you done ate 15 Snicker bars, done had 47 Pepsis, and now you in a diabetic ketoacidosis, and I got to send you over to the ER. I don't want that. I don't want that. But realize that I am also a person that practices what I preach.
Yes.
My sister, my mom will laugh at you. Because I personally eat like a teenage boy. People get around. I kid you not.
Pizza, burgers, and chicken
I'm
fingers?
talking about when I was married, I know we probably spent about $150 a week on fast food. I would curbside to go my husband and I to death. Do you hear me? But I was not that woman that said, hey, I can cook and I can do. No, I'll clean the mess out of the house. I'll work with you. I'll satisfy you that area. But cooking was not my thing, and I'm not going to even wait. Let me tell you what made me start cooking. My baby.
That's the same thing.
You know, your kids will change. Your
because
kids
you
will
know
turn
what,
on
your
some
kids
switch
will
inside of
really,
you.
Yes, and it was so crazy because I hate cooking. I absolutely hate it. I hate it. Now I can, but I hate cooking. And somebody asked me, like, well, why do you cook so much? And I said, because you can't just feed your kids McDonald's to death.
You cannot.
You can't do that.
I mean, and look
You
at
know
the
what I
way
mean?
that things have changed. How many posts have you seen online and on the internet where they say, what they putting in the Pepsi down that they didn't in, or what's wrong with the orange high C now at McDonald's that orange high C back when we was little, that stuff was banging.
Banging.
You hear me? And now
and
look
now
at
it's like, ooh, this.
But
don't
realize
taste
we live
right.
in a world where it's cheaper to eat bad.
Yep.
You can feed your whole family at McDonald's for probably $20, $30.
Yeah.
Take $20, $30 to Kroger and see what you come up with. Take $20, $30 to Whole Foods and see what you come out
You
with.
could probably feed yourself and give them a snack.
See what you might be able to make enough to pack a lunch the next day. This is the world we live in. Realize where we are going with this. It is easier to eat on the go.
Yeah.
It's easier to eat bad.
It's cheaper to not take care of yourself.
There you go. You know why it's cheaper to not take care of yourself?
Because then the pharmacies
Come
and
on,
all
honey.
I know a little bit.
Come on,
you know what I mean? But
sis.
Big Pharma want their money.
They want their money.
They want their money. They don't want you to be better. They want their money.
They don't want to give you a cure. They rather give you treatment.
Yep.
They don't want to tell you to try some natural and holistic things. They want you to keep coming back for the meds. How many commercials do you see that because I want my psoriasis gone?
And
Notify your doctor if you have chest pain, belly pain,
And
if
wait a
you're
minute, I
nauseous,
love
if you're
the ones
vomiting.
that's,
These are the side effects. And they
the
go
side
by
effects?
1,000 miles an
Woo!
hour. Now, the whole commercial has been this woman
Some is
enjoying
happy,
her man, and
she is
they're having
loving,
dinner, and they're at the
everything.
lake.
And it's like, and this
they're-
could cause you to
and
die,
then the-
but
in
you're
that
gonna be happy.
last 5 seconds, they done told you 47 side effects in the last 5 seconds. I mean, and the man is speeded up. Like,
Yes.
you can even hear his voice go an octave higher because they done
Yep.
sped it up that quick. Because they're required to tell you those things, but that ain't the part you listening to.
Yeah.
You
All
like, I
you
got this
looking at
rash, and they
is-
talking about
yep.
this pill gonna fix it. Let me go
Yep.
in here and
Yep.
not knowing that I'm on medicine for my reflux, or I'm on medicine for my migraines. They not telling you that it may affect that. And so now I go back and I got this other stuff. So give me another pill to fix the side effect of this other pill.
Yeah.
Versus saying, go and get you some lavender natural oil
So,
and
let
some
me
shea
tell you
butter
something.
and put it on there.
So let me tell you, okay, because you cannot. First of
Oh,
all, I
plug
am
to my
horrible.
cousin Audrey Fields. She's a doTERRA.
Oh,
essential
that's
oil.
awesome.
Plug.
That's
Plug.
awesome. Because look, let me tell you what I learned. Now, first off, I just want to say, because, we got a real professional, real health professional right here, okay? And I'm sure she will tell you to stop diagnosing yourself via Google.
Oh, God. Stay off of Dr. Google, please, y'all.
WebMD, okay? Because I thought WebMD was educating me. But I was getting these reoccurring headaches just over and over and over again. And I did look into the oils. And I tell you what,
Yes, ma'am.
I took lavender and I put it right here above, like right above my lip and my
peppermint.
nose, and took the peppermint and I just massaged my temples.
Yes, ma'am.
Had not had,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
haven't had one since I did that. And that was almost like 3 months ago. But I was getting them regularly. And yes, I did diagnose myself. And I was like, oh, Lord, these migraines, they just come with age. Jesus. But I got tired of having them. So I was like, I don't want to go to the doctor. And it is because, it wasn't because I didn't want to go. It was because I was lazy. I admit, I was lazy and did not take the time to find one that looks like me. And so I was just like, I figure it out.
Well, they were almost like a needle in a haystack.
Yes.
So you can go on a Mercy Health website. You can go on a UC Health website and realize that the front page when you go to UC Health is the picture of them. You might see one in the back of that crowd of 100, like back there, but there's never a name shout out. There's never a name shout out as to who that is and what his or her specialty is.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, this is all of our staff.
Yeah.
But then sometimes when you go to websites, you'll see they'll
I
have
tell
their
you what,
headshot,
though,
honey. How
one
many years they've
time-
been in?
I called my insurance and I specifically asked to be
Wow.
sent. And I
Did
still
they?
did. No, they did not. No, they did not. They did not. And she told me that that's where I was going. And then when I got there, that's not who I had. So, yes. So
And
that might
shout
have
out,
been a little bit of that too.
let me take this moment. Shout out to COVID because COVID has made some of you all, my people that look like
Yeah.
me, y'all have become some of the most creative. You all have started sites that pump black businesses, sites that let you know where black estheticians are,
Yep.
sites that let you know where African American journalists and TV hosts and y'all have started this pool of supporting one another. Shout out to the creativity and the fact that you were fed up enough during that time to start saying we will network and support one another.
Yes, I love that. And speaking of shout outs, I will give a shout out to the Voice of Black Cincinnati. Because that
Yes.
is what they do.
I'm on there.
That
Shout
is what
out
they
to
do.
you
That
all.
is absolutely what they do.
Shout
so
out
shout
to
out
you
to
all.
Miss
And I
Miss
emailed
Crystal.
y'all. Y'all better put my urgent care up.
I know that.
It's called
Miss Crystal,
Community
you
Urgent
heard
Care
her.
Plus. What is my address? 082 Glen Crossing Way. It's on the west side.
All right, this is going to be my last question.
Okay.
Because we did the health talk. You are a beautiful, vibrant, just hilarious black woman that I love. I love it. I love it. But we talk a lot about our success stories, and a lot of times we don't talk about the ugly side
Yes.
that we've had to endure. during those moments.
Mm-hmm.
I see that you have a beautiful, beautiful, vibrant baby girl, and you seem like a very hands-on kind of mom, right?
I try to be.
So within that, can you talk about some of the adversities that you had to overcome that got you to this space? 'Cause
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sure it didn't look like this all the time.
No. As I told you before, my story being, my first 2 or 3 years of college, I caught the bus. I went to UC. I caught the metro to school. I didn't get my first car. It was given to me by my aunt and uncle. Shout out to them, Pastors Norman and Pamela Doc. It was given to me by them, and I drove to school my last 2 years. Once I finished, I have to say that I am a walking testimony. Because if I start from the beginning, like I said, I grew up on welfare, food stamps, and WIC. I feel like God has orchestrated almost everything in my life. I was in high school. There I met Miss Gail Blackreed. She was an English teacher there. She said the same thing. There's something about you. There's something about you. She kept up with me. She was like the mom at the school for me. She was like, oh, I know your mom, and I can call her, and
Right.
you know what I mean? I can tell by the way you acted. If I call your mama, she gonna get with you. She kept up with me. She sponsored me to be in my first cotillion. It was at the cotillion that I met Mr. Robert Humphreys. He happens to be the creator, the originator of the Miss Black Teen Cincinnati pageants and the Miss Black Cincinnati pageants. I met him there, and then by way of Miss Evelyn Johnson, she said, you should be in it. By then I'm like, I'm not being in a pageant. They gotta walk in heels. They're like, fine, we'll practice with you. We'll walk. I had to stay. So I went on ahead and said I would do it. I had to stay after to learn how to walk in heels. Like, I was that much of a time, and I was just like, I don't know about this. Won the pageant. From the pageant, I mean, it was just one thing after another. However, when I got to nursing school, it was a different story. Not very many people looked like me. I started out with the crew of us. By the time we were done, I want to say it was 5. Got into the workforce. Started out as one of 3 on this telemetry unit in this hospital that I worked at. From there, it was actually a white woman that took a liking to me. She said, hey, I want you to apply to this preceptorship, this internship, to be at Christ Hospital in the ICU. There were over 300 applicants. They only took in 30 people. I was one.
Wow.
Only one that looked like me in there. When I finished, I was the only one in the ICU that looked like me. I then began to do travel nursing. I was licensed in 6 different states at one time. I was just moving, shaking, going.
Yeah.
Every hospital, I mean, from California to Chicago to Florida, every hospital that I worked in, I was the only one in the ICU. The stigma in the hospital world is that they send us to med-surg. Some of us make it in telemetry, and only they get to go to the ICU. One thing I knew was my job, and I know I was good at it. I was able to explain things to families and to patients that the doctors and anybody else couldn't. So they would always come and hey, can you come and explain this to my patients? They don't understand. And so the adversity of having to be the only one that looks like me. I ate lunch alone at work, even though I worked in that ICU for 9 years. I was okay with that. But having the strength to be okay with you is fine. I was never antisocial. The funny thing was, after a while, the doctors took a liking to me because I was so unapologetic about who I was.
People love real.
And
They love real.
I would have the charge nurse come up to me and say, that surgeon is the meanest thing in this hospital.
You'd be like, oh,
You
we
had him
cool.
over here laughing with you. What did you say? I'm like, nothing. He just came over and spoke. There were some that were rude, and I would say, good morning, Dr. Such and Such. Hey, hi. And every time I saw him, good morning, good morning. Before you knew it, they were speaking first.
Yeah.
And so I have been blessed. I have been absolutely blessed. Trying to find balance.
What does that look like?
I have a nanny. No, I am kidding. That is a whole lot from the pit of hell. I do not. I do not have a nanny. I am a single mother. I still work my other job. I just uprooted this urgent care. I am trying to build a brand for myself and for my daughter. I am a divorcee. Twice. Speaking of some juice, twice.
Not speaking of some juice.
Twice. Honey, I use my qualms as empowerment for other people.
Yeah.
I am not ashamed of me. I'm not.
It's the real. It's the,
He said what?
if he said WAP,
He said what?
he said WAP, Lord. I cannot stand.
I can't. But finding balance, what that looks like, believe it or not, is sometimes trailing my daughter with me. I get asked to speak at churches. I get asked to speak on panels. I get asked to speak at forums. I get asked to sing at churches for this and for that. Believe it or not, those who ask me and those who know me, they now have somebody usually that sit there to sit with my baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I shout
Keeps
out
you-
to
does
my
it feel
mama,
like it keeps
Paula
you
Fields,
grounded?
because she is my co-parent.
know
I
that's
am
right.
not even going to, she's my baby
You got
daddy.
to shout out the mamas. 'Cause
She
my
is
mama,
my baby daddy. Thank
too.
you, mama. I love
Yep,
you.
my mama is
She's my baby daddy. My sister Whitney Fields, shout out to her. She's my
Yep.
nanny sometimes, but my
Yep.
daughter is with me a lot, believe it or not. She gets engulfed in the church thing. She gets engulfed in the medical thing. She gets engulfed. But I do find time for she and I. I never want to be that parent that missed that time. There's going to come a time she don't want to be bothered with me.
There's definitely gonna
And
come
so-
that time because I think I'm approaching that time and it's about driving me outside. Now, I'm starting to feel away.
And she had the nerve to
Starting to
ask
feel
me,
away.
Mommy, when you going to get married? When you going to get you a boyfriend?
Ooh, let me tell you.
I
Okay,
said, when you get out of
let
my
me tell you.
bed. She still come in my room at 4 o'clock in the morning. jumping, when you get out of my bed, I'm going to get a boyfriend. That's
So let me
when.
tell you, it's so funny because I know we gonna wrap this up in a minute, but it's so funny that the kids be like that because
Like, can
my
you find you
son,
somebody?
my son hit me with, when I get married, I'm gonna make sure that my wife stays at home. She's a stay-at-home wife. He said, Mom, because somebody has got to be there to do stuff with you when you want to do stuff. I said, I ain't gonna have a man.
Oh, and I feel bad because I am not that mom.
I don't know, man.
I am not
don't
that
know.
mother.
And I'm just like, dang, you just counting me
Sorry,
out. Like,
Skylar.
no left-hand gang for me? No. I
like,
can't say
it's-
period like everybody else
And
says
she'll say,
right now.
and she'll say, you need a boyfriend. You need a boyfriend. I'm like, what do you know about a boyfriend? I said, if I get a boyfriend, he's gonna come here and tell you what to do. She'd be like, nuh-uh. I said, yes, he is, and you gonna have to get out of my bed.
Well, before I let you go, you know we have to play our game.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Okay. So, those of you that are still taking the time to tune in with us, thank you very much. You guys
Thank
know
you,
that we
guys.
like to play Ask Ashley's All Truths and a Dare.
Uh-oh.
So, the way that this game goes is Miss Jaimee will say 3 statements, one of those being a lie. And I will make 3 statements, one of those also being a lie. And whoever guesses the lie gets to dare the other person to do something.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go first. You got to give 3 statements.
I'm 34 years old. I love to roller skate.
Okay.
I don't want any more children.
That's 3.
All right.
Oh, wait. 34, roller skate, no more children. I feel like your spirit is a roller skater, so I'm saying that that's true.
That's true.
Okay. I am going to, and I hate to even say this because it ain't no shade because you so beautiful, but I'm gonna go with the 34 is the lie.
That is a lie.
Cause I'm 34 and
That is the lie.
I'm like, she got her soul is a little older
I
than
know it is. I'm 40.
It's a little older.
That's why I shouldn't have used that one. Every time I use the age, that's what somebody will say. Like, men will say that to me. I'll have younger men come up to me, and I'll be like, honey, how old do you think I am?
Them young men, they don't care.
I know. And I'm like, honey, how old do you think I
They
am?
don't care.
Oh, baby, you ain't nothing but 25. Sweetheart, you are more than 10 years off.
Ah!
They're like, oh. I'm like,
Oh,
Everybody think I ain't got a boyfriend. Everybody think I'm young.
Hey.
Yay.
Okay, so I guess that one. Okay. Mine are going to be, let's see here. I graduated in 2004. I won a talent show singing The Boy Is Mine. And my favorite color is purple.
Huh. I want to guess that the talent show thing is true.
The talent show.
I feel like you have a singer's voice because I have one.
the talent show is
So
true.
favorite color is purple.
And I was Monica, to be clear. Okay.
Well,
To be clear, I was definitely Monica Denise. Okay.
So purple and
2004.
I feel like 2004 is a little late. Maybe it's not. Wait, you said you were 34. What did you say?
Damn,
36.
Did I tell him myself?
Is that right?
I don't know.
So I want to say that's true.
What?
2004 is true.
That's true.
So the lie is
Yes,
the
my favorite
purple.
color is purple. Dang! Should have thought about that a little bit better, but that's okay. I can allow you to dare me. I'm definitely gonna dare you.
Oh God, what are you gonna dare me? Okay, so you have to dare me first, right?
Yes. I am going to dare you because you said it like twice, and a little birdie told me that you have a beautiful singing
Oh,
voice.
come on.
And I'm gonna be nice, and I'm gonna let you sing one of the church songs. Okay, I ain't even gonna ask you to sing
on.
one of the turn-ups.
Are you really?
Ma'am, yes.
Why?
Because you're just so vibrant, and I just want to hear it through your voice.
I
wanna
don't
hear it
sing
come
a lot,
from
do I?
here. No, you
Okay,
just give us a little tone or two.
Oh God, let's see. I've had some good days, and I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days, and some lonely nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days. So I won't complain.
I love it. I don't know what it that you just better just praise dance back there.
Wait, he done roll WAP on the board now. He back there dancing.
I bet you wiped off WAP on that board when she got to singing.
Oh my God.
That was beautiful. That was so beautiful.
So my dare is gonna take you having to check back in.
What?
I dare you to go on a date this week. This week, before the end of this week, I dare you to go on a date.
I can. No problem.
No, that wasn't convincing. She's like,
I will go on a date. I will not show who I'm on a date with.
You don't have
but
to.
I will.
let us know that
I
you
will
did.
give you a little video footage of the date.
Wonderful.
I
I can deal with that. I can live with that.
Girl, I thought you was gonna ask me to sing. I was about to be like, my voice don't sound like
I
that.
No, I wasn't gonna do that because I didn't want it to be like redundant. Like, okay, why they both singing?
Yeah, well,
That's okay. I should have dared you for us to do the daggone talent show song.
I would have rapped.
Well,
I
really?
would've Hey, I would have busted out Lil Meg
You
Thee
got
Stallion.
bars?
When it's Meg Thee Stallion, I got all the bars.
Oh, shucks. She said when it's Meg Thee Stallion. My baby know that. She had the nerve to be trying to teach me the Savage. I said, how you know the Savage? We don't even have cable on our TV. How you even finding the video?
Hey, they can find it through all outlets.
Hey, I'm telling you, YouTube is a
Technology.
monster, I guess.
Technology.
I guess.
Thank you guys so
Y'all,
much
thanks.
for taking the time to tune in. But before we let you go, please let our viewers know how they can get in touch with you, how they can come to the clinic, what insurances. Like, let us know how we can get you.
All right, so the name of the urgent care is Community Urgent Care Plus. It's located in Western Hills on the west side of the city. Address is 5082 Glen Crossing Way. It's right off of Glen Way. There's actually an African-American young lady who owns a scrub store across the street.
Brandy?
Yes, ma'am.
Shout out to
Shout out
Brandy.
to Brandy.
Is it Celeste Design?
Yes.
I love Brandy. I'm going to have to get her on the show. But yes, shout out to Brandy.
Yes, so as far as insurances, we take them all. We take them all. Come on. We take them all. We take you if you need DOT physicals, if you need a regular physical. If you have not been to the doctor because you cannot find one, come on. Come on, we take them all. We take self-pay. Come on in. And I myself, just this year, and really nobody knows about it, I started a scholarship fund in the honor of my grandmother, Miss Anna Fields. So those of you who even are self-pay, who probably have some issues with even paying for your care, come see us.
Yes.
I
love
have
it.
some
See,
sponsorship
see,
for you.
see, that's why we go to ones that look like us, because they care a little differently.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I want
That
you to be
care looks
healthy.
very different, and it looks very genuine.
There you go. Genuine
Very
and sincere.
genuine. Very,
Genuine and sincere.
Very. Thank you so much.
Thank
This
you
was
for having
awesome.
me.
I
This was
love
a-
you.
thank you for having
so much.
me.
I just really, really
You guys are the
thoroughly
bomb.com.
enjoyed
Shout out
this.
to y'all
I'm
doing
telling
this.
you, know, we
Yes.
only supposed to do 30 minutes. I was fine going a little
But,
over
I
today.
mean, but this is the producer. I mean, shout out. Y'all are.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you guys for taking the time to tune in. Please make sure if you have not gotten yourselves checked out, checked in, checked whatever, please.
Come see us.
Please, please, please.
Community Urgent Care Plus. You can follow me on Facebook,
There you go.
Instagram. Come on.
Yes. Mompreneur 1.
Yes.
That's right. Mompreneur 1.
One fierce
Right.
mompreneur.
There you go. There you go. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune into another dope episode of Monday Night Juice. I'll see you next week. Bye.